Make a date with Rev Dr Ebenezer Markwei at 6 a.m. from Monday to Saturday on Graphic Online via Facebook and YouTube as he expounds on matters of faith.
I'd like to capture my thought this morning with the words, they always know. Or let's say, they always knew. Yeah, they always knew. I like they all no stroke knew. I like that better, maybe. In Genesis chapter 42, verse 21, see the confessions of the brothers of Joseph. He said, number one, we saw the anguish of his soul. They heard his plea. They saw the anguish of his soul. They heard his plea. He was begging for his life. They heard it. You know, sometimes when people are being taken through kangaroo courts, either they are vocal or they are silent. Either they are vocal trying to state their innocence, or they may be quiet. But I can tell you, in all, whether it is quiet or in the noisy, there is a message. The message of the silence will be a quiet acquiescence, and then a quiet surrender to despondency and despair, because nobody wants to hear your story. Nobody wants to hear his story. They couldn't hear his cry. Even if he didn't voice it out and scream it out, they could hear it in his sobs and his plea. They knew. They heard it, they knew. That's what they said. They said one to another, you know what? We heard his plea. We saw the anguish of his soul. We saw him looking at his brothers face to face, and maybe in the quietness of his heart, never opening his mouth. When the reality hits him about betrayal of his brothers and their desire and the thoughts they thrust into his soul. That's what Jesus was saying when he was at the table, when he says somebody's going to betray me. He said it with anguish of spirit. Betrayal is not just a laissez-faire thing. It's not just like that. It grips into the soul. It anchors its pain in the soul. It leaves scars on the hearts of people. Not physical scars, but scars of pain. One of the first things that you do is to, walking in the valley of remorse, admit it. We had it. You knew that what you were doing was wrong. You knew it. You knew it. Your conscience was seared with hot iron. You chewed that person up in a frenzy. You did it in a frenzy. You went all out. Organized people, and all those things. You're like a rabid crowd crying out, crucify him, when he had done nothing wrong. You knew it. Amongst those who were crying out, crucify him, were people whose friends or brothers or sisters or what he had healed. People whose destiny he had raised up from the dead. People that he had been a blessing to. He had multiplied 5 loaves of bread and 3 fish. He had been a blessing to them. They knew he was a good man. And even when Pilate was telling them, he's a good man, and you know what it means, his blood be upon, he said, yes, his blood be upon our own head. They went through that gamut of rabid viciousness. The Bible says the brothers of Joseph, they knew it. They admitted it. They knew it. So all along when they were doing what they were doing, they knew. And out there, they were taking a lamb to the slaughterhouse who couldn't even bleat for mercy. They knew it. That was their own brother. That was their blood. That was their brother. For goodness sake. That was their brother. When hatred, jealousy, and envy clouds your sense of judgment, And then you go on a murderous spree, assassinating people's character, going after them, bloodthirsty. All throughout, there'll be a niggling feeling that what you're doing is wrong. But of course, some people's consciences are seared with hot iron, so they can't even think. But when you come to the reality, when you came to realization, admit it. And don't try to distance yourself from what happened. Say, we knew it. We're all part of it. I feel sorry for the families of those generals who were killed. I'm ashamed. Because we're operating with zeal without knowledge. Rabid zeal, murderous zeal. Here we are now. We should be ashamed of ourselves. And sometimes we need to look at them families face to face and say sorry. We need to look at those people and say sorry. Well, the choices are yours, but you always know. See you later.
Please visit our website, graphic.com.gh, or follow us on Facebook at Daily Graphic and on YouTube and Twitter at GraphicGH.
Subscribe now.